The 1986 NFL Draft. Now, I was living in Tampa, as I mentioned, so of course I know a little bit about the story of the number one overall pick by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Famously or infamously, Bo Jackson, because he never played for the Bucks and he stood his ground, and I'm really stand by him. I totally, as far as I understand from the story, he was very much screwed over by the well-known and racist and pretty terrible person, owner of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, one Hugh Culverhouse. I know he's not alive to defend himself, but I think if most people go back to that time period, they'll say even by his that 80s time standards, he was a very, very not good person. And Bo Jackson had his baseball career, college baseball career, messed up by one Mr. Culverhouse, and he stood his ground, said, "I'm never playing with the Buccaneers." He never did. By far considered, if not one of the greatest athletes, pure athletes in modern American history, American sports history. Guy played two sports at the same time on a Pro Bowl and All Star level. I know Deion Sanders did it too. I don't know if Deion Sanders made the All Star game in both sports. And Bo Jackson did in the same year. A guy like did not have a long NFL career because he got injured very severely. Hip was dislocated in a game. I believe he probably could have broken. I don't know if he would have broken Walter Payton's records or Evan Smith's records for most yards, but I think he would have gotten over 10,000 yards if he had stayed in just one sport and just never had gotten hurt. But we'll never know. I actually met him sort of in person. I mean, not exactly, but I was at a spring training game when he was with the Kansas City Royals, and just insane, insane athlete. Saw him play baseball. I didn't see him live play football, but I did see, of course, the games on TV. But I did see him actually play spring ball for the baseball in the Bay Area, Tampa Bay area. So number one pick, but never played with them. Eventually, he was drafted in the seventh round by the then Oakland Raiders. Bo Jackson, still giving you credit for being drafted number one overall. Number two, Atlanta Falcons, Tony Casillas, nose tackle. I believe you're in the Hall of Fame, Oklahoma. Houston Oilers, Jim Everett. Now we're going back to the quarterbacks. I believe you. Oh, I forgot to mention. Wow, the USFL. I'm gonna have to have a whole. I'm gonna have to have a whole video about the USFL, which popped up in the I believe 83, 84 time period, maybe 85. I'm not sure how long the league lasted, but I do know it was in like the 84, 85 time period. So Jim Everett was taken as a quarterback by Houston Oilers for a quarterback out of Purdue. Okay, Indianapolis Colts took John Hand, defensive end Alabama. St. Louis Cardinals took Anthony Bell, linebacker Michigan State. New Orleans Saints took Jim Dabrowski, tackle Virginia. I believe you're in the Hall of Fame. If you're not, I definitely know of you. I've heard of your career. Guess maybe because you played for the Saints. And I watched the Bucks. Kansas City Chiefs. Brian Josiwak. Sorry, Brian. Sorry mispronouncing your last name. Tackle West Virginia. San Diego Chargers. Leslie O'Neal, defensive end, Oklahoma State. Definitely heard of your career. Pittsburgh Steelers. John Renasatra, guard, Temple. Philadelphia Eagles, Keith Byers, running back, Ohio State, very good running back. Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Kelly, linebacker, Washington. Detroit Lions, Chuck Long, quarterback, Iowa. Definitely remember seeing you play. San Diego Chargers, James Fitzpatrick, tackle, Southern California. Minnesota Vikings, Gerald Robinson, defensive end, Auburn. Seattle Seahawks, John Williams, running back, Florida. 16 Buffalo Bills, Ronnie Harmon, running back, Iowa. Atlanta Falcons, Tim Green, linebacker, Syracuse. Dallas Cowboys at 18, Mike Sherrard, wide receiver, UCLA. New York Giants, Eric Dorsey, defensive end, Notre Dame. Buffalo Bills, Will Wolford, tackle, Vanderbilt. I believe you're in the NFL Hall of Fame. Cincinnati Bengals, Tim McGee, wide receiver, Tennessee. New York Jets at 22, Mike Height, tackle, Iowa. Los Angeles Rams, Mike Schad, tackle, Queens. Okay, I'm going to get your last name wrong. I'm sorry. At number 24, Los Angeles Raiders. Now in Los Angeles, no longer in Oakland. Bob Bukowski, defensive end, Pittsburgh. 25, Tampa Bay, Rod Jones, defensive back, Southern Methodist. And 26th overall, New England Patriots, Reggie Dupard, running back from Southern Methodist. Chicago Bears at 27, Neil Anderson, running back, Florida. And Tampa Bay Buccaneers, well, they had a lot of draft picks. Jackie Walker, linebacker, Florida State. Jackson State, sorry. Detroit Lions, Gary James, running back at Jackson State. Washington Redskins, Marcus Koch, defensive end, Boise State. New Orleans Saints, Dalton Hillard, running back, Louisiana State. And 32, St. Louis Cardinals, John Lee, kicker. Is he the highest drafted kicker ever? UCLA, no offense, Mr. Lee, but I mean, that's pretty impressive to get drafted in the first round. Um, okay, so we have Bo Jackson, not in the NFL Hall of Fame, but very well known. Is there any Hall of Famers in this draft in the first round? Names, there are names that stick out, but I don't know if there's any Hall of Famers. I'll have to look that up and get back to you. I know some of you had, obviously careers longer than, 2 or 3 years, but this draft, the 86 draft, other than Bo Jackson, who didn't even play for the team that drafted him, the first 32 players, it probably might be considered a weak draft compared to, I mean, come on, Lawrence Taylor, and Jerry Rice getting picked in the first round. Okay, guys. Well, to be continued. Bye.